you wake up in the middle of the night on a hiking trip, it's usually for one of three reasons. Either you're freezing, the boogeyman is outside your tent, or you need to pee. That's me, waking up in the middle of the night, but not for any of the reasons listed. This is New Zealand. If you don't recognise this country, it's because New Zealand are notoriously known for getting left off world maps. And if you don't recognise this, you're definitely not going to recognise this. Where is this? It's here. See? Stewart Island, New Zealand's third largest island. Stewart Island beholds your best opportunity anywhere in New Zealand to see a wild kiwi. No, that's the fruit. No, that's a human kiwi. No, that's a human kiwi holding a kiwi fruit. Yes, that one. The bird. For a bird that lacks the main attribute of being a bird, what makes the kiwi so special? You might find yourself waking up in the middle of the night on a hike to find out, I have 3 days on the RAKIURA track to fulfill my quest of finding a wild kiwi, so we should probably make our way to the island.
Way to avoid seasickness is to keep cool. So take some clothes off, not all of them, just enough to cool yourselves down. If you really don't like to travel on the sea, the bar is open so you can have a tipple.
Day 1. Lee Bay Road End to Port William campsite. Distance, 8 kilometres. Time, approximately 3 to 4 hours. You'll kick things off stepping through a chain link sculpture, a symbol of both the formation of RAKIURA National Park and a Māori creation story. The story goes that Maui, while voyaging in his waka, or canoe, hurled a massive fish from the ocean, which became the North Island. His waka represents the South Island, while Stewart Island is said to be the anchor stone that holds it in place. You'll find another sculpture on the coastline at Bluff, symbolising the other end of the chain. One unfortunate thing that has happened on this trip was I forgot the tripod clip for my camera. So if you're not a camera person, what that means is I cannot strap my camera to my shoulder. It would normally sit here, and I also can't use my tripod properly. So it means all of my shots, like those nice walking shots, either have to be pretty much flat on the ground because I cannot tilt my camera. So I'm pretty gutted about that. I'm not normally the type of person that forgets things. We're making do. We got my little day pack put around me like a sling, and it's pretty uncomfortable banging away and digging into me, but I'll try and do the best that I can. You can see tiny little hikers. god. Look how dark it is right here. Ooh. Now I know you were hoping I would spend an unnecessary amount of time standing in the rain just so I could teach you about sawmills. This site was a hub of industrial activity from 1913 to 1931. Before you stands the boiler and steam engine. The settlement that supported this activity was home to about 30 buildings, including a school and workers' houses. Nature has woven itself back into the landscape, as this is all that remains. Tucked in front of the sawmill is Marley Beach campsite. It fits a total of 16 campers, and I'm sure falling asleep to the sound of crashing waves would soothe any thoughts of spending the night alongside the ghosts of the sawmill workers. I did consider at one point staying here as my first night, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it's kind of like a walkway between all the hikers going in either directions. It's sort of like your halfway point. But there's a toilet here, and I've just had my lunch under the shelter. Just gonna reset before I head off again. So Greg, who was the driver from Aurora Cabs, he said that once you pass the swing bridge, which is what we just passed, then any rustling that you hear in the bush will be a kiwi. So keep your ears peeled. The Stewart Island Tokoeka is the largest of the kiwi, and these guys behave a little differently compared to their buddies in other parts of New Zealand. Kiwis are traditionally nocturnal, but you can see them here active at both day and night. They also tend to live in family groups and outnumber the humans on the island. This is the face of somebody who just came across two ladies who had a delightful time looking at a kiwi. I was about 30 seconds behind them, and by the time I got there, it had left. So, close encounter, number one, but not quite. So I've just reached the turn off for the campsite. I got here a lot quicker than I expected. So tomorrow you have to come back here and then head that way. But it's about 45 minutes left on the sign. I started walking about midday, and it is 3:40 right now. And that was with some filming. So that's always nice. There's a lot of history at Port William. The Māori established hunting camps. In the 1800s it was a base for sealers and later a whaling station. There was gold prospecting, oyster beds, and even a government-subsidised settlement for Shetland Islanders. The only indication they were here are the 150-year-old blue gums they planted from Tasmania, Australia. Port William is now but a humble refuge for hikers walking through echoes of the past. And it is here we find ourselves back at our opening shot. Kiwi hunting without the hunting. I rose at first light when all of a sudden there was a knock at my tent. Rumours were stirring. A kiwi had been spotted in the bushes. Hi, it's me again. I'm back. I just wanted your opinion on something. If you saw a kiwi but you didn't get it on camera, did you technically see a kiwi? Because that's what happened. They are speedy little things. It ran out super fast right in front of us, and I was so entranced that I did not press record. I had one job. But I also think it was kind of nice, because it meant I was living in the moment, and in that moment it was the kiwi that mattered and not my camera. The only problem we have now is the video editor inside of me is not satisfied because we don't have the shot. What if I want to tell you some more fun facts about kiwis? What am I going to use for B-roll? I can't afford stock footage. I might have to make my own and stick some googly eyes on a kiwi fruit. Nobody wants that. I now have 2 days to capture some footage of a kiwi.
Good morning of day 2. Everything feels heavier because my tent is still quite wet and my ground sheet, but that's okay. We'll just eat lots of food today. I didn't really sleep that well last night, mainly because of the rain. The rain was quite heavy. Had to do some flood maintenance every now and then just to make sure that the grass beneath me wasn't soaking, because it was about maybe like a centimetre of a puddle all around me, but we survived. Anyway, the sunshine is poking through, so hopefully it stays that way. And a bit of deja vu, we are back at the turn-off. I realised this morning that I forgot to put my gaiters on because it's meant to be quite a bit of mud on day 2.
Day 2. Port William campsite to North Arm campsite. Distance 13 kilometres. Time approximately 6 hours. Roughly 1 kilometre into your walk, you'll encounter the log haulers, more relics of history. These two machines, made by rival engineering companies in Invercargill, were used to haul the towering forest giants. When milling operations ceased in 1931, the log haulers were inexplicably abandoned. Frozen in time, they remain in their original working positions.
I thought the mud was bad before. I can officially say that the mud has gone down in between my sock and back of my shoe. Feels cold. I'm just pretty much trying to find a spot now where I can stop for lunch. I want a spot that's in the sun, if the sun is still about. I have no idea why that's there. Okay, for lunch we've got crackers, some of these cheeses, and I tried to find Twiggy sticks, but I don't really know if New Zealand has Twiggy sticks. These kind of look like them, but it's more like, tastes more like mini cabana. So, not quite the effect I was going for, but close enough. Alright, food mission is complete. Camera batteries are switched over. Time to put the pack back on. And pray there's no more mud that way. Exactly halfway. 3 more hours. Now, is this one tree or is this 2 trees? Creating an archway. Just for me. How's this camera doing without a proper tripod?
5 minutes away. There is another one.
A reason why Stewart Island is your best chance at seeing a kiwi is thanks to the absence of its most formidable predator, the stoat, which devastate kiwi populations on the mainland. Efforts are also underway through predator-free RAKIURA, an initiative to eradicate other invasive species like rats, possums, feral cats and hedgehogs. Achieving this would mark a significant step in the ambitious goal of a predator-free New Zealand by 2050. I settled into the serene bush surroundings of North Arm campsite after taking a look around the hut. A few more campers joined in for the night, as this spot serves as a junction connecting the Northwest and Southern Circuit tracks. More opportunities to explore the island on foot. For me though, it was night 2, and that meant a chance for kiwi spotting redemption.
I just don't understand why you don't want to be on camera. Everybody thinks your little run is adorable. What I did get though is an audio recording of a female calling out during the night.
Good morning. I have just left the campsite about a minute ago. On the home stretch today, we've got about 4.5 hours, which takes you to the end of the walk, and then an extra half an hour to get back into town. So, another gloriously dreary day. It's good. I should add, last night there are possums at North Arm campsite. I think everybody got visited by a possum, and there was one tent where the possum ravaged their food. Unlucky. Just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy singing in the rain. Day 3, North Arm campsite to Fern Gully Road end. Distance 11 kilometers. Time approximately 4.5 to 5 hours. The final day on the track. Today you'll pass a number of historic mill sites. First on the list is the appropriately named Sawdust Bay, which operated from 1914 to 1918. It's a perfect moment to reflect on the forested landscapes you've traversed, knowing that RAKIURA National Park, with its lush greenery, covers an impressive 85% of Stewart Island. Hold on guys, I just need to go to the toilet real quick. Won't be a second. Perfect. Straight to the source.
Another sneaky insight into the island's sawmill history is Gallam's sawmill. This time, water-powered, dating back to 1861.
Today is what I would describe as one of those like miserable weather hiking days where it's not properly raining, but you still have to wear your rain jacket because it's like that misty, constant rain, and then you get dumped on from the water droplets on the trees every time the wind blows, and then you can't really stop because everything is damp, and if you stop you get too cold from the breeze, but if you put another layer on then it's too warm. So it's that kind of dreary in between kind of weather. My least favorite. Now that is an obstacle. Let's watch me struggle.
RAKIURA is commonly translated as Land of the Glowing Skies, and in this case, it was glowing grey. Once you hit former Kaipipi Road, you'll know the end is near. If you make the effort to reach Stewart Island, you'll be rewarded with its rich history, beauty, and if you're lucky, the magic of encountering the elusive Kiwi. A journey that gives all signs of a New Zealand Great Walk.
So I did think that I would be sneaky and get the taxi to the start of the track, because that's like an hour and a half from Oban, but the end of the track is only half an hour back into town, so thought I better not cheat, and now I've got the remaining half an hour to go.